Hello and welcome to National Focus. I'm Jarna Hector. Coming up on National Focus, Dominica's president visits the Grotto Home for the Homeless, the youth minister speaks positively of the Cadet Corps, and Dominica's Rosalie Bay Resort is nominated for the 2012 Secretary of State's Award for Corporate Excellence. Stay with us as we bring you details of these stories and others when National Focus returns.
Documentaries and in-depth discussions, community walkthroughs, and Yes We Care. See it all on GIS Channel 7.
Welcome back. A two-day cadet training workshop to enable sharing between the Dominica Cadet Corps and the USVI Junior Reserve officers ended on Tuesday. GIS News attended the opening of the workshop on Monday, where Youth Minister Honorable Justina Charles assured the Dominica Cadet Corps that the government is fully on board with the Cadet Corps program.
The government of Dominica is committed to the expansion and strengthening of the Cadet Corps. This is why we will spare no effort or opportunity to achieve that goal. Government believes that every young person has unlimited potential lying hidden within themselves. This is why we continue to spare no effort in encouraging and assisting the youth to reach their full potential so as to live successful lives and to make meaningful contribution to the development of Dominica.
The delegation of USVI cadet officers was led by Dominican-born Colonel Eddie Charles. He explained that Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt visited St. Thomas and sought ways to enforce collaboration between the two islands.
As the Prime Minister visited, he mentioned getting the Dominica Cadet Corps to be more like the Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps program, what we call JROTC, of the United States, which is a full-time program in the high schools, fully integrated in the high school curriculum, and accredited in part because whatever the students do contribute to their graduation from high school. We have courses that are accredited to include AP classes, advanced classes, advanced placement classes that are given college credit. And that's in the history area, military history type area. So we are here in Dominica this morning to share our entire curriculum with the Dominica Cadet Corps. And I'm glad you said it's to supplement and not to invent, because a curriculum has already been established.
Charles also stated that he sees the partnership as a way of giving back to his beloved Dominica. Commandant of the Dominica Cadet Corps, Major David Andrew, told the opening ceremony that he is pleased with the opportunity to learn from and share with the visiting team, especially since he expressed such desire earlier this year. The commandant also remarked that Dominica's legislation provides for cadet training in specific areas.
I welcome this timely program, which I am reliably informed by the Adjutant Captain Robin and our chairman this morning, is aimed at curriculum development. However, I will refer to it as curriculum enhancement, since the Cadet Act number 2 of 2001 sets out in section 7, subsection 1, the provisions for establishing of the training curriculum by the Central Committee after consultation with the minister. I must lay on record as well my profound gratitude for Captain Robin, who have held the helm of leadership of the Corps during my absence in the United States in Washington on training and government business and subsequently vacation. I want to tell you, you've done a good job and continue to fortify and strengthen the leadership of our organization. Presently, the Act provides for the cadet curriculum 11 areas of training to include drills, first aid, water safety, fire safety, the award scheme, communication, music, basic technical education, civic education, orienteering, and fieldcraft.
Major Andrew also listed a few exchanges held with other Caribbean corps.
In the past, we've had the opportunity of several exchanges between the Canadian cadets and the Caribbean cadets. We also have had experiences between the Dominica Cadet Corps and the French cadets. And in recent time, we see a relationship developing between Barbados and the United Kingdom Cadet Corps exchanges.
Captain Dawson Robin is Public Relations Officer of the Dominica Cadet Corps Central Committee, which manages the Corps. He referred to the training workshop as a collaborative effort that will yield mutual support. Captain Robin also noted the extent of partnership between the Dominica Cadet Corps, the DCC, and the Caribbean islands.
The DCC is a member of the Caribbean Cadet Association, which links regional cadetting from Trinidad in the south to Jamaica in the north. Dominica is currently part of a subgrouping led by Barbados, which includes St. Lucia and Antigua and Barbuda.
The USVI Cadet Corps has lent support to the Dominica Cadet Corps in the past with a donation of battle dress uniforms. In other news, the Rosalie Bay Resort is currently a finalist in the 2012 U.S. Secretary of State's Award for Corporate Excellence. The award appreciates U.S. businesses abroad who are nominated as good corporate citizens by U.S. ambassadors. The nomination of Rosalie Bay Resort highlights the establishment's support of environmental protection initiatives. The resort, owned by U.S. native Beverly Dykle, uses locally produced goods, recycled and environmentally friendly materials, as well as solar and wind power. Literacy programs and local hospitals are also supported by the Rosalie Bay Resort. According to a release, Dykle says the aim of the resort is to protect the environment and empower locals with job training and opportunities. Of the many businesses nominated by the U.S. ambassadors around the globe, only 11 have been chosen as finalists and recognized as global leaders in advancing corporate social responsibility. In an interview with Minister for Tourism, Honorable Ian Douglas, he said any accolade for the resort is a plus for Dominica.
Whenever one of our properties does well on the international circuit, it's very good for us because, I mean, a poor country like Dominica, we do not have the monies we would like to have as some of the other destinations do to do marketing on a global level. So any accolade that we receive or we can receive on the international level is great news for us. And of course, you know that the United States of America is one of our major source markets. North America is one of our major source markets. So for information like that to come out and to hit the airwaves is great news for us. Rosalie Bay is one of our new properties, and they have received a number of accolades in the past, and they continue to do very well.
Minister Douglas says the Rosalie Bay Resort from its inception has embodied what can be referred to as community tourism and believes this is the reason for its success.
Community tourism is really persons from our local communities contributing to the industry. And if we have local community persons from Grand Fort and Riviere Syriac really being housekeepers and bartenders and chefs and frontline managers in the hotel, that is great news for us. That means we continue to train our people in tourism. A lot of people believe that the career opportunities in tourism are limited. They are not really. There are a number of opportunities in tourism, and we continue to see that in establishments like the Rosalie Bay. And Rosalie Bay, from scratch, from the first soil that was turned at Rosalie Bay way up to the completion of the hotel, local persons have been fully involved in the hotel, and we believe that's why they have continued to enjoy global recognition, especially when it comes to sustainable tourism. They're a very good example.
The minister congratulated the resort on their nomination.
And we congratulate them, and we're very happy for them, and we believe that that is just the start. Rosalie Bay is a young establishment, it's a young hotel, and we believe that they're on the growth curve. They're on the growth curve, and I'm certain that from the look of things, we'll continue to see more accolades of this type being bestowed on properties like Rosalie Bay and other properties in Dominica that continue to do well because of their business model and the service that they give.
The winners will be announced in Washington next month. In more news, at a recent handing over ceremony in Dubic, where government sought to address some of the housing needs within that community, Prime Minister Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit stated that his government is committed to empowering its people through its Housing Revolution program.
We have sold land to people across Dominica at $1 a square foot. We have bought several tracts of land in Dominica, and we have sold the land below the true value of the land in an effort to make sure that people own the lands and so forth. And even in respect to housing, you've heard people criticize the Labour Party for housing revolution. But I live in Vekas, I'm from the Vekas constituency, and the Vekas constituency has never been in opposition. We were in government, Eugene Charles, Mayor Soros was in government for 15 years, we were a Freedom Party for 15 years. But there is not one house that the Freedom Party fixed in Vekas constituency for to build. Not one. And that is the same story you will find in many parts of Dominica. That is the first party that has put in place a serious, organized, people-centered housing revolution.
While the entire world is grappling with the economic crisis, the government of Dominica is tackling its own challenges and still managing to address the needs of citizens across Dominica.
We are continuing that program in a time when the entire world is going through a crisis. The entire world is having a problem. And some of you who watch television and read the news, you will see that President Obama, he has been elected, but he has more headaches than any other person now in this world. Because he has a serious problem where he has to reduce debt and cut expenditure. And in that process, it is being said that they will lose about 2.1 million jobs based on the actions that he has to take. So if big America is having all these problems, you expect little Dominica to have problems too. You understand? Albeit at different proportions, different rates. But we have not been saved from the global crisis. You understand? But we are continuing to provide for our people, to reach out to our people, to respond to our people. And yes, we will not be able to respond at the time that people expect us to respond, or they may want us to respond. But rest assured, when this government, this party makes a promise, we shall keep to that promise.
According to the Prime Minister, several names were approved for new lots in the Dubic area. He says government's efforts will not stop there.
I believe 17 names I have there have been cleared, and that will be approved by the cabinet maybe tomorrow or next week. And once the cabinet approves it, you get a letter assigning land to you. And we are continuing to review the boundaries, the surveys. Once that is done, then we'll make the additional lots available. So I do not want you to leave that meeting saying, oh, Mr. get his and that lady get his, I will get mine yet, and so on. Because somebody has gotten, it means that for your name is closer to getting yours and so forth. So let us thank God for your neighbor having his own organized and say that God is good, you will get yours very, very soon.
Once the allocations of lands are dealt with, the Prime Minister stated that government has further plans for the community of Dubic.
The issue of the construction of homes for families there, particularly the elderly and particularly the single mothers and so forth, rest assured that we will respond in a practical and tangible way to the challenges of housing confronting Dubic here. But we need to address the issue of the boundaries, the land allocation, because we build homes there in Dubic and we settle on homes, but the boundaries are all sorts of ways and so forth, so we have to try to straighten them as much as possible. I came here to look for the location for a facility. We have located land, we recognize the land, so we need to start moving towards that particular issue and so on. So the issue of having washrooms in people's homes, this is something that we have to make happen in Dubic. And as difficult as the world may be, as difficult as things may be in Dominica, we have to find the resources towards helping you here in Dubic.
President of Dominica, His Excellency Eliud Williams, visited the Grotto Home for the Homeless as part of his office's tradition to pay a Christmas visit to various charitable organizations. The Grotto Home is one of the recipients of annual donations from the President's Charity Foundation. Manager of the Grotto, Jacqueline Theodore, welcomed the officials to the establishment, saying that the President's office has always been a significant supporter of the home.
I must say, throughout the years, that the Office of the President has helped the Grotto Home, and on behalf of those who will benefit from the charity today, your charitable deeds, I would like to say, may God continue to open the doors and windows of heaven and satisfy you with your heart's desire. And as you fill your coffers, you'll keep on pouring to the doors of the Grotto, and you're the less fortunate in our society. And on behalf of the Grotto, before I leave, I would like to thank you again for coming today. Your presence means a lot to the people around. And as you look around, you will see some are weeping for joy. And they listen very attentively because they are happy. Because they make mention sometimes that it seems that society has forgotten them. And your presence here today will elevate their joy, will heighten their spirits, and I think will help them to enjoy the day and throughout the year.
Theodore also noted the number of difficulties that affect operations at the Grotto.
The Grotto Home for the Homeless faces many challenges. As you may have known, we have a number of 42 people on the Grotto, 18 women and 24 men. We are now in this home, which was supposed to be a short duration, but we have exceeded our time by over 2 years. And you are being faced with a lot of challenges in terms of financial and otherwise. When you look around and you see the people around, you see that they are also faced with their own challenges, physical challenges as well as mental. As we say, we have people here that we can term as from senility to immobility. And the numbers of employees that we have is just not enough to continue the work. Much stress has been placed on them. For example, there are those who cannot bathe themselves, those who cannot move, and we have no orderlies here. And you know, we only have one nurse on staff, Nurse Helen Smith, and she's doing a good job. But the stress placed on her is enormous because she has so much to do, and she also uses her vehicle as an ambulance. There is no vehicle at the Grotto, and it makes her work very difficult.
On behalf of the Grotto Home, which is a permanent shelter for a number of homeless persons, Theodore solicited assistance in any form.
I hope that you use your good office to continue to cooperate with us, to work with us, and to help others, and to spread our interest here and elsewhere. And I'd like to call on the Dominican people to know that the people of the Grotto are Dominicans, and they are the unfortunate among us, and that we should do not only during the Christmas and festive season, but throughout the year, try to help in whatever way they can. We also need that they would come around to help them, to inspire them, to encourage them, and let them know that they are loved and they are appreciated by the public. Sometimes money is a lot, but they need to know that they have the support of the public and support of families. Because many of them, while they are destitute, they feel that there is no one for them. Friends do not visit, families do not visit, and it makes life here a little more difficult for them. So I would impress on the public and those within the hearing of my voice to lend a hand of support, to show their love, not only through the seasons, but throughout the year, to help the less fortunate among us. Secretary
to the Board of Directors Tina Alexander also appealed to the President and the Dominican public to contribute to the upkeep of the home. She expressed gratitude to the donors who have been charitable to the Grotto Home, including the President's office.
More than half of our costs in the Grotto are met by donations from people who care. And when you look at our budget, you'll be surprised how we can operate. because each year we don't know who's going to give. But maybe that person's listening today and they're going to give so we can continue. It's quite a challenge running the grotto. It's not like we have a big bag of money and a budget to run it with. Most of what we get is donated by people who care. Some people donate money. Some people donate money every month from their salary. We really appreciate that. They can get a tax certificate for that too, to make sure that they can declare it on their tax, which will be good. But some people don't have money to give, but they have other things they can give. And some people will bring a dashin, will bring a hand of fig, will bring some grapefruits, whatever. And we're very grateful to receive it. Please share with us what you have. If you come here, you may even find you have somebody who you're related to here you didn't even know. We need to look after our own. And so we ask everybody who's got things to share to bring them here. Mrs. Theodore will be pleased to receive them, write them down and tell you thank you. Thank you in the name of the residents. Thank you in the name of the Lord.
Alexander highlighted that work on the new grotto building is currently ongoing in Bellevue Royal.
If you go above the college, you will see evidence of a lot of hard work this year. And with God's help and the help of the Baptist Church, we're looking forward to coming to the end of the second dormitory already. So I'm very pleased about that. And we've done well. We've been stretching the funds because really we only had funds for one building and we're already nearly at the end of two. So we're doing well. And we're now seeking some more donations to help us with the different sections of the third building. So we've got a promise of assistance with the roof of the second, and we're now looking for donations for different sections of the third. Now, that's the dormitories. That's all part of phase 1. Phase 2 is to come, and we're looking to the government to help us with phase 2. Phase 2 will be the brilliant dining room and kitchen and properly equipped laundry and chapel and offices and the sleeping in area for the staff. So that's the main complex, and that's going to be presented to Cabinet shortly for them to make a decision about. And we're asking God to help them source funds to help us.
The President, His Excellency Mr. Williams, had the following remarks.
It's always a pleasure to be able to be of some assistance to residents of institutions like this. The work being done by the board is really tremendous one. The sort of effort that's required to run an institution like this without having a fixed budget, I know can be a challenge. So I've heard Mrs. Theodore, and I must admit I am myself challenged by the fact that it happens to all of us, I think. We after a while, you see and appreciate the work being done by others, but sometimes you feel maybe they are doing such a good job that perhaps they can continue. Your appeal today reminds me that there is always more that some of us can do. And I was particularly struck as well with Mrs. Alexander, who in fact worked with me when she first came to Dominica some 20 years ago, if that's not betraying your youth. That I'm sure there must be more we can do, and from the Office of the President and the other institutions that I'm associated with, I will see how we may be able to assist you further.
The President's Charity Foundation then handed over their donation to the Grotto Home for the Homeless.
Congratulations for some really wonderful and encouraging words this morning. And the President Charities Foundation is very happy to join in what you are doing to help those who are less fortunate. And I hope after your little speech, I'll call it, more people will help and contribute towards the grotto.
The President also donated a 100-pound bag of sugar, while Deputy Chairman of the Foundation, Antoine Rafoul, pledged $1,500 of building materials on behalf of his company. And that's the English segment of the news. We now join McPherson St. Luce for the Creole highlights.
Alors tout le monde, bienvenue à ces nouvelles en créole. Non, moi c'est McPherson St. Louis. Premièrement, Premier ministre Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt te chef délégation cabinet qui visite communauté de Big Simen Salam. Gouvernement Dominique connaît situation résident communauté Salam qu'a expérimenté, et spécialement en affaires. En effet, cela, le gouvernement fait présentation un chèque $60,000 l'argent pour improvement comité qui est allé assister aux affaires. Membre parlement honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow aussi fait parole que le gouvernement bien plaisir pour faire donation là qui est allé bien loin adresser situation citoyenne. Le gouvernement Dominique aussi pour tuer terre qui résident communauté Salam qui a été payé pour 25 cents au square foot. Quand même, membre parlement honorable Dr. Kenneth Darrow qui a créé à ces résidents qui fait application pour ces terres Salam qui depuis aussi voué l'aide confirmation, il aussi besoin faire paiement, fait assurer qui tel là c'est ça yo. En autre nouvelle, le gouvernement Dominica et puis déjà mettez attention pour accommodation des enfants et puis éducation ailleurs. Parole cela sorti du ministère de l'Éducation, honorable Peter Saint-Jean. Sinon, honorable Saint-Jean, dans l'école primaire pays déjà qu'à one service pour ces petits nègres là.
Présentement, nous avons plusieurs écoles, qui nous ont mis en l'école première là, tout en Dominique là nous avons place. Ministre Japon décision avec une bénédiction cabinet qui nous avons payé dans ces teachers pour une année et après l'année ça là, nous avons espoir qui communauté là et c'est ça nous appelle practitioners ça yo qui prend programme ça là avec courir veille. Et aussi, il y a des enfants dans différents villages. Par là, ils passent à faire payer. Le ministre de l'Éducation qui paye pour les enfants, tout le monde dans une petite école. Et vraiment, c'est un grand programme qui nous dit. Et nous avons créé à tout peuple, tout en Dominique, pour aider le ministre de l'Éducation et le gouvernement pour essayer d'éduquer tous les enfants.
Et puis, chef pays OECS qui tient un meeting OECS Authority en Dominique. Le 22 pour le 23 novembre, en l'occasion Rosalie Bay Resort. Il y a un meeting spécial Monetary Council, ensemble et puis autorité OECS, qui tient ainsi le 22, ça c'est demain. Meeting ça là que voit ministère et puis responsabilité des affaires l'argent, venir ensemble discuter des affaires finances. Il y a l'autre grand meeting qui prend place vendredi, ça c'est OECS Authority Session Business. Et puis après ça, il y a un caucus chef pays OECS. Après le caucus là, il y a une conférence média, disséminer information ça qui passe. Il a expecté qu'il y a parmi d'autres bagailles. Meeting ça là qui mettait mis en place comment pour aller devant et puis implémentation Treaty of Boston. Il y a aussi considéré application pour OECS, Conseil des affaires économiques et puis discussion qui prend place et puis secteur business. Tout en région là. Finalement, l'organisation President Charity continue à mener Noël pour l'institution tout en pays là. Proto Home for the Homeless, c'était la dernière occasion que recevait visite Horde Président Excellency Elwood Williams. Et aussi recevait cadeau Horde organisation President Charity. Chef institution là, Madame Jacqueline Theodore, remercie l'organisation là pour donation salam. Quand même si l'homme membre président Charity Jennifer White, il a bien plaisir pour faire donation pour une institution comme ça.
Tous les années, nous avons grotto. Puis vous savez, il y a vraiment besoin d'argent. Et puis je dis, moi, je play William Motan, Miss Theodore, Madame Theodore, qui a dit combien l'argent et puis bitin, grotto, ça a besoin. Nous sommes bien contents de nous en place, en belle vie. Et puis nous espérons que ça qui fait bien soon. Mais pour aujourd'hui, nous sommes contents qu'il nous a fait un petit bagage pour faire travail plus aisé. Et puis President Charities Foundation, rien nous travaillons pour en place concrète, so that la vie c'est mon là qui at least petit primaire.
Messieurs, mesdames, ça c'est tout pour Nouvelle Créole pour à présent. Non, moi c'est McPherson, St. Luce. Au revoir.
Stay tuned for the tip of the day. Our tip today deals with writing a good resume. It is a good idea to update your resume on a regular basis. Add all the new information that you think is relevant, as well as courses, training programs, and other academic qualifications that you might receive along the way. This is the best way to keep track of everything and to make sure that you will not end up sending an outdated document to an employer. And that's National Focus. As usual, we invite your suggestions or comments. Please feel free to drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm or visit our website at news.gov.dm. Or you could also visit our GIS Dominica pages on both YouTube and Facebook. On behalf of the entire news production team, I'm Jarna Hector. Thanks for watching.